Hi everyone, this is Dan at Sure Physio, and in this video we're going to be starting a new series. We're going to be looking at correcting upper body or upper extremity mobility. So we've been over ankles in the past and how to correct things like flat feet. Now we're going to look at how to correct some of these common shoulder dysfunctions, movement restrictions that we see, definitely ones that we see with that I see with personal training clients, and also massage patients coming in with tight shoulders and restrictions. So the normal presentations we see is that kind of classic rounded shoulder posture. We kind of have this rounded upper back and these shoulders that kind of elevate, they kind of come up closer to the ears, and people just feel quite locked up and restricted. Definitely for people who sit at desk for long periods or do a lot of driving, we tend to kind of get into these positions, so sort of like text neck sort of positions. We definitely see this in activity as well. If we have those sorts of restrictions, people can't quite get their arms up and overhead. You know, we kind of get stuck around here. We can get some pain and some discomfort. We can get a bit of shoulder impingement. We can't quite reach overhead. And when we do exercises like overhead pressing, we tend to get stuck. I mean, you tend to having to bring those shoulder blades, really kind of elevate them in order to get up there. So we end up compensating. And also, if you try to do things like a barbell squat, people will complain that they can't quite get their arms back far enough. You know, to get onto that bar, it can be quite uncomfortable. So what we're going to look at first is which muscles, first of all, which muscles are contributing to those problems, what's keeping us in those shortened positions, in those restricted positions, and how we get them out. So we're going to start off with some release techniques. So if you've seen the ankle mobility program that we did, we started off with some foam rolling, some massage ball stuff to try and get those trigger points out of those tight muscles. So one of the major muscles we're going to go after first is the lat muscle, so that latissimus dorsi, so that big, large muscle on the back. It's the largest muscle on the upper body. Big, huge muscle, the muscle you do when you do things like your pull downs and your rows. So when you do, if you do a lot of rowing, those big muscles there, they can get very short. They have this propensity to get tight, and if they do get short, they can again restrict that arm motion. They kind of keep us in that kind of stuck position here. We can't quite get that extensibility because they essentially pull the arms down. So if they're restricted, they're going to restrict us from getting that overhead position. So we need to get those out first. So I'm going to have my friend Ephraim come out. He's going to show me how we do this. So Ephraim, if I can get you to lay just on the floor for me on your side, we're going to do your left side. So we're going to use the foam roller to search for a tender spot. We're going to look for those trigger points. Those trigger points, again, they present as a tender area in that muscle. So where the trigger points tend to be in the lats is just kind of underneath that shoulder blade. So just come to the side, just here, just underneath that shoulder blade. So that's where I'm going to get you to have a little roll through there. You're going to reach that arm out, and you're just going to search up and down, just coming just from below the armpit to just at the bottom of the rib cage, and let me know if you feel a tender spot in there. How are you feeling? Good. Got a little something in there? Yeah. So when you found that spot, when you just go to it, you're just going to hold it, you're going to keep it there for me, okay? Yeah. So how much pressure we need? Not a whole lot. I've done it we spoke about this before in the ankle mobility series where we were doing the calves. You know, we just want mild pressure. It should be manageable discomfort. So if we said 0 was no discomfort, 10 was the most amount of discomfort, we want it to be about a 5 or a 6. So it's like, oh yeah, I can feel that, but yeah, it's kind of okay. You know, it's not terrible. It feels like when you're getting a massage and you find like a knot or a tender spot. That's all we're looking for, okay? That's all we're looking for. That's all we're doing, okay? So we're just going to keep it there on that tender spot, nothing else. We're not going to move, we're not going to go back and forth. We're going to stay there. How are you feeling, Ephraim? Is that all right? Mm-hmm. Now, it should take about anywhere from 30 seconds to 2 minutes, but that should start to calm down. You'll feel that trigger point almost start to kind of melt away. How's that feeling? Does it feel like it's getting better? Good. Seasoned done. And it's as simple as that, ladies and gents. It looks real simple, and that's because it is. We're just looking for a tender spot. The trick to it is just not applying too much pressure. There's different types of foam rollers out there. There's some real kind of hard, crazy, almost evil-looking things, which can be way too much. They can produce way too much pressure. So just find something that gets you enough, that it just feels somewhat uncomfortable, but nothing more. We're going to hold it 30 seconds. It may take up to a couple of minutes. We're just waiting for that tension to subside. You know, it may go from, say, a 5 or a 6 down to a 2 or a 3, that's good, or may go away completely. And there you guys go, there you have it. Right? That's our lat dorso release. Okay, we're going to move on to some other muscles in the next video, so keep an eye out for those. We're going to be looking at the pectoral muscles and also the muscles that come up around the back of the shoulder, like our rhomboids and our back scapula. We're going to be getting after those next. Take care, I'll speak to you soon.